Beat Making Basics.
What's up, YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Also like the video. Without a further ado, let's jump into today's content. We're going to continue this series of 10-minute beat challenge. Basically, the first part of the series, we make the beat in 10 minutes. The second part of the series, we arrange the beat in 10 minutes. And then the third part of the series, we mix the beat in 10 minutes. And so actually we're on the third part of the series for this J. Cole type beat. So let's jump in. Now, first things first, if you haven't already watched the other two videos, make sure you go ahead and check those out. But what I'm going to do here, I did a lot of different automation on this track right here. I'm just going to play this for a little bit just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. As you can see there's filter stuff that I did. That's all going to be in the other video here if you want to see how I did it. But what I'll do, I'll just give you a little sample of how it sounds, and then we're going to go from there. All right, cool. So this will give you a vibe of what's going on. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and do what's called bounce in place. Okay, and what that's going to do is create a separate track here. I'm just going to say J. Cole sample, and then we're just going to go ahead and just bounce this down like so. And basically what we're going to do is create a brand new one of those tracks here. And so I did that for several reasons. Again, I didn't want to have a whole lot going on as far as the effects and everything on this. So what I'll do is I'm going to also go ahead and resave a brand new session. So we'll just name this J. Cole 3. And I'm going to delete this guy right here. And now we have this track right here. Okay, now normally what we would want to do is go ahead and export all of these to audio files and everything like that. So what I will do is we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to come over here and just make sure everything is not too loud and stuff like that. So I'll come over here. I know for a fact the kick drum was a little loud, the snare, stuff like that. Well, actually, one thing we could do too to make sure that it's not going to be peaking too much is bring this master stereo down some. So I'm just going to bring that down about 4.6, and then we're going to just going to go export this to audio files. All right, I'm going to take this and put this on my desktop. I'm just going to say J. Cole beat. I'm going to say stems. And we're just going to go ahead and do wave 24-bit. Export it. All right. Now that that's done, the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and resave and do one more saving of this. Do a save as. And I just push Shift Command S to do that. And now we got this other track here. I'll actually come over here and we'll delete everything. Push audio here. And then what I'm going to do is come over here to the top right. And I'm going to look for my beat over here. So it's right here. Let's open this up. And we're just going to drag everything right on in here. Now, the reason why I wanted to go ahead and bounce down everything is audio files, because audio files are actually a little bit easier to process. You don't have a bunch of effects on them yet and everything like that. So it's just going to help the overall quality of the track. So I'm going to go ahead and now organize the beat. So we got the sample right here. We got some hats here. Got the kick there. I'm actually gonna move this baby over here like this. We'll turn this flex off here too. And it's good to stay organized whenever you're doing, whenever you're mixing. That's why I'm moving everything around here. Because like when you actually get to mixing, you just want to be able to easily access everything. So we'll put the melody on top and we'll put the kick and stuff like that, the drums on the bottom. So the second thing we're going to do here, or the next thing we're going to do here, is just go ahead and find where the hook is. We're gonna create a loop over here. And what I'll do is I'm just gonna start one by one, bringing in different sounds and stuff like that. So what we can do is bring up the mixer window and just turn everything down. And we're gonna start actually with the kick drum. And we'll just start there. We're gonna raise the volume and then start adding different other instruments. So we'll go kick, snare, then we'll start bringing in that sample, and we'll go from there. Cool. So let's just talk a little bit about the levels here. Basically, as you can see here, really the kick is like the highest level on the mix. And then after that, the snare, and then you see that sample's tucked right under those, okay? Or the melody is tucked right under that. And if you really look right here, the hi-hats and or the percussion is tucked right under the melody. So that's what you want. Technically, this beat doesn't even have a whole lot of bass on here, so that's kind of, I don't know why I didn't add a bass in the beat, but we can add that during this mixing part if we want to. But along the lines of mixing here, the next thing we're going to do here is go ahead and pan things to the left or right. I'm going to go ahead and start with like really the hi-hats and the percussion stuff. That's really, and then maybe even these synths, but we're going to keep the sample in the middle, the kick in the middle, and the snare in the middle. So let's listen to it and go from there. Bet. So now that that's done, the next thing I'm going to do is do some what's called subtractive EQing. And this is where I'm going to take out certain frequencies to make room for other frequencies. So for instance, if you think about the spectrum of the frequency range of different instruments, so you got low and high. And what you want to do is take out some of the frequencies of maybe some of the instruments that have more higher frequencies, take the lows out of those to make room for the low frequencies on the tracks that or majority low frequency. So like for instance, like the kick drum, you want that to punch through the mix. Like these hi-hats, you know, you could take out some of the lows on that so that kick drum is going to punch through. Vice versa, even on these samples and the melody. So we'll go one by one here. We'll take out the lows on this sample just a little bit. I don't know why that messed me up right there, but we're gonna just put a new one on here. Pull this back like that. And we just go ahead and probably just hold down Option here, and we can just drag this on some of the other percussion instruments. I don't want to overdo it on taking out some of the lows or whatever, but just want to make sure some of the lows are out of the mix here. That's pretty much good enough on some of these. And again, this is just really simple mixing, man. You know, you don't have to really do a whole lot a lot of times on your mix. All right, cool. So we could do some other things too, like just to make certain things pop out, like if it wasn't like hitting hard. But really, a lot of this is punching where I needed to, just based on the overall leveling of the beat. What I'm gonna also do is introduce y'all to a plugin if you don't already know about it. Like say if you want to mix with your headphones, like what kind of like what I'm doing right now. There's a Waves plugin that you can get. It's fairly inexpensive overall in reference to plugins, and it's called NX Ocean Wave Nashville. NX Ocean Wave Nashville. So what you can do is you can put this on the stereo out. Okay. And what that's gonna do is, like, if you're mixing in headphones, it will kind of mimic being in a real deal studio. And so I'm just gonna listen to this just to make sure that the mix sounds dope with this plugin on it. Cool. So everything sounds pretty dope. Basically, as you saw me add here, I added a few different plugins. MV2 is really a compressor type plugin where I compress a little bit of the highs and lows here. I love this plugin right there. I also use Smack Attack on the kick and the snare, and adjusted some of the volumes and the knobs on that. There's a tip here. After using this Ocean Way Nashville plugin, all right, after you feel like the mix is dope, go ahead and turn that plugin off. You don't want to bounce down things with that plugin on. It's really just as a reference. You know what I'm saying? So now let's listen to it without that plugin, and you'll see that the mix sounds pretty dope. And I could add reverb on certain things, but for this beat, I really don't think that it needs it. So my philosophy on mixing is actually less is more. You feel me? We could go ahead and add a whole bunch of other stuff on here to sweeten it up and all that, but I really just think based on what I have going on here, I don't need to add too much more to the mix. If you all liked this video, make sure that you go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the mix sounds right during the verses as well. So this is a verse right here. Let me just kind of play a little bit of that before we end this, just to make sure it sounds right. So let's check that out. Yeah, man, I feel like this beat is pretty much done, man. 10 minutes or less overall. You know, I of course was talking a little bit through this and everything. So, but you know, I could have done it way quicker if I wasn't, you know, explaining things. But you know, yeah, 10 minutes or less. There you go. This is a mix on a J. Cole beat. Appreciate y'all watching. Until the next one, we're out.